Back with another reaction video. We got rappers with these all white t-shirt parties, man. What's up with these parties, man? Why is we wearing all white? But y'all know I got a white, yeah, but I ain't with the freakiness. I got hella white tees, but we ain't with the freakiness shit. You see what I'm saying? We ain't no freakazoids over here, twin. But I need y'all to turn on my video, man. Every time I drop a reaction video, I drop bangers back to back. Yeah. We finna get to this video, man. We finna see what the hell this talking about, man. I don't know why everybody wearing white, man. Come on, let's get into it.
This is why I don't call people culture vultures. Look at this. Look how he's holding these two grown men. I said in a previous video that rappers are like girls. They'll literally hang out with anybody that can give them some shopping money, but how much you gotta pay for this? And who is this in the background? Is this
not Lil Baby? What the fuck?
It's one of the with them some shopping money, but how much you gotta pay for this? And who is this in the background? Is this one of the servants? All this gangster talking y'all music, and y'all let a 50-year-old man fly you out to party with him. I don't care if he's paying $100K per guest. This is not my scene. When do you get to the point where you can host an all-white party? What level do you have to be on? Because we know from the whole Diddy situation that these are not just regular parties. And look at how this man is biting his lip. What is Donald Trump telling him? Anyway, in 10 to 15 years, I'm sure somebody is going to come out with similar stories about the Michael Rubin parties, but he'll probably be long gone out of the country by then. But he's only been hosting these parties since 2021, and before that, it was just Diddy for the most part. So how was it decided who can be the new all-white party host? This has been a subject of much debate since Diddy started being accused of things, and probably even before that.
Women, beautiful women.
And bro, one thing about these parties or these all-white tees parties, bro, it's so crazy because look, my teacher one time, he was telling me about like how the industry work and shit. You know how motherfuckers be famous fast, motherfuckers get famous and this and that. Bro, niggas real life be doing some gay shit with another man that's already lit, already in the industry. That's how they get lit. That's how Lil Baby. I don't know if that's true or not. But I mean, it started to come out though, bro. Like I started to think that they started to play. They play with other men. They let other men play with them for them to be famous in the industry, bro. It gotta be something like that, bro.
Of course.
But I want to try to get to the bottom of this, or at least as much as I can without it getting too weird.
Locks on the doors. It's a little kinky, but yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to see all of the biggest celebrities go to Diddy's house in the Hamptons and Saint Tropez for the all-white parties, and not thinking too hard, I just thought, well, Diddy is rich, and he's probably just inviting his rich friends to a party. But these people aren't friends. The whole Hollywood was all in Diddy's house, eating his food, drinking his champagne, and today none of them want anything to do with him. All the interviews now are, oh yeah, I went to Diddy's party, but I stayed on the first floor, or I ain't go to the after party, I left. So nobody went to the after party, right? Okay. So before Michael Rubin, Diddy's first official all-white party was in 1998. But by 2004, his party was officially sponsored by Sony to promote the PlayStation. Also, PlayStation was the name of one of his houses in New York. And he was even given an original copy of the Declaration of Independence to bring to the freak-off party. Allegedly a freak-off party. He really had the Declaration of Independence though. And there were only 200 original copies made by a guy named John Dunlap, who was alive when the original document was drafted. And only 25 of these copies survived. So this is actually an original copy that Diddy is holding at one of his parties. That's how influential this man was. And before I really get into it, if you paid attention to popular culture at all, you would know that strange things at parties like this are nothing new. I still remember when Whoa Vicky said she got invited to a party in LA where they have to take your phone as well as a drop of your blood. Now that sounds like cap, but LA gets pretty weird once you go up in them hills. Also, my mom knows a guy who I obviously can't name, but back in the 90s, he was a big time drug dealer in Chicago, and he was connected to Bishop Don Juan, which is an old man that's famous in Chicago for being a pimp. And yes, he's been all through Hollywood, and I wonder why celebrities would have a pimp around them. Anyway, they both got invited to a party at Snoop Dogg.
And it's so crazy, could he be grown ass men doing this type of shit? Like, I'm type of nigga, bro, I'm gonna sit there and grind for what the fuck I'm gonna get. I'm not finna do no type of strange change just to get famous in the industry. I ain't finna do nothing. Nah, bro, I ain't with that shit, bro. You ain't gonna, nah, I can't do that. Hell no.
His house in LA sometime back in the mid to late 90s.
And there's nothing wrong with getting help or whatever, but if you gotta do something strange, bro, that's like selling your soul to get what you want out of life. Like, no.
He's from Chicago, and Chicago people tend to over-exaggerate things, but his exact words describing the house when he walked in were somewhere along the lines of drugs piled to the ceiling, as well as women, most likely escorts, in every room. And he says it was too much for even him, so he immediately left once he started looking into these rooms. And years later, Cat Williams would allege he saw similar things at mansion parties before everyone thought he was crazy.
These big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms, and you look around and look in the wrong room and shit.
And again, we still hear strange stories today, like the high school girls that allegedly get invited to Drake's house. So anyway, Diddy's first party was in the Hamptons, East Hampton to be specific, and if you don't know what the Hamptons are, it's a very affluent area where wealthy people live, at least part-time, since many of them have summer homes here. And for reference, this is what rent looks like in East Hampton. I literally laughed when I saw this because my brain could not come up with any other response to the ridiculous prices I was looking at. Now back to this first 1998 party, Paris Hilton, who was basically the first influencer to exist after the internet was created, was there, and she said everyone was there. So this seems to be the start of rappers and entertainers coming to the all-white parties.
And it's so crazy, like these is grown ass men, bro, doing this type of shit with another grown man, bro. This is crazy.
All-white parties being associated with rappers. So what happened in 1998 to give Diddy the power and influence to get everyone at these parties? Well, for starters, you all know who earned Diddy his first big check in music, the notorious B.I.G., who had just died a little over a year before this party, but just 4 months after B.I.G. passed, Diddy immediately capitalized on the situation and dropped his first, and still to this day, his best-selling album. Now, of course, since it was dropped so fast, it's implied that he started work on the album while B.I.G. was still alive, but of course, this is where the rumors come in, like one in particular from Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, that alleged he somehow had prior knowledge in some way of what would happen to Biggie if he went to LA, which is where he ended up dying. And while this is still considered just a conspiracy theory, one thing that is very strange to me is when his mom filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles, a key witness who was expected to testify took psychiatric medication right before the trial, which resulted in him suffering lapses in memory, which also resulted in him becoming an unreliable witness. And it all eventually ended in a mistrial, and the family filed 2 more times, but the second time they accused 2 LAPD officers of being complicit in some type of murder plot, but the judge ruled that the family had not complied with California law, and the third time it was just straight up dismissed. Anyway, Diddy went 7 times platinum, was nominated for 5 Grammys on the album, and he eventually won 1, so this pretty much cemented his spot at the top of the music industry, and wouldn't you know it, just months after winning this Grammy is when the first all-white party was held. So obviously, any rapper being around Diddy at this point and onward was seen as a move to elevate their career. Something that Michael Rubin can also seemingly do, as obviously he can just put money behind it.
They got Lil Baby, Meek Mill, I don't know who the other nigga, like that Fat Joe, like this shit is crazy. Like if you think about this shit, like you deeply like think about this shit, like these niggas, like Lil Baby, you don't think this nigga's a gang? You wouldn't think this nigga would come. You wouldn't think Meek Mill would come. That like James Harden right there. I don't know, like. This shit.
Anything, and I'll never forget when he made Meek Mill hop like a bunny, which is just a reminder.
Like, what the hell? Like, gang, this is real life. How, bro? How, like, he must have to be paying these niggas to do shit. Like, I don't know, bro. It's something. I don't know. Was they off of a pill? Like, what was it, bro? Like,
that if you listen to these rappers, separate the music from the artist, because all this tough talk, but when a billionaire tell you to hop like a bunny, you hop, and when he touch you inappropriately, you just pose for the picture like every other influencer. And it's not just the rappers. I saw a video of this man Diddy sitting back watching the A-list actor have a wrestling match in front of him, like some type of performance, while workers are just walking around picking up the trash. He was like an emperor in a coliseum. And this is not regular grown man activity. This is grown men that get flew out for weekend party activity.
This is... What the fuck is going on, bro? Like, how?
It has to be something that you won't do for money, right? Interestingly, according to multiple sources, as of January 2025, Michael Rubin has canceled his all-white parties forever. And this is due to people comparing him to Diddy, which you could just have birthday parties. If it weren't all-white parties and if all these fake entertainers weren't invited every year, it would look a lot less weird if it was just like you and people that you know or are friends with. Listen, I'm not even 30 yet and I have no interest in having the fakest people in the world surrounding me at a party. All of these people are paid to have opinions. You know just like I do that a big rapper, singer, or influencer will only have a stance on something if they get paid. For instance, Nelly and Snoop Dogg both performed at Donald Trump's inauguration party. Yet the last time he was elected back in 2016, they both publicly took a stance against him. But it's all fake. When these people talk, it's because they just got a deposit in their bank account. Whatever their real opinions are, you'll probably never hear it because they're celebrities. They don't get paid to think, they get paid to entertain and make statements. This is like when Diddy did the Rock the Vote or Vote or Die movement. Like, bro, do you really think Sean P. Diddy Combs cares about who gets elected president? And he just, of his own free will, got these t-shirts printed to make a statement. We all passed the first grade. Why a 50-year-old businessman would want all these people around him, I'll never understand. If I had Michael Rubin's money, I would go to the ATM every day, withdraw $5,000, and put it together in a rubber band just to slap any celebrity that came near me on some fake shit. And the fact that he wanted all these men and women that get paid to do things around him is part of the reason he got compared to Diddy. These people are not his friends, just like Diddy don't have no friends. So what did all these rappers and influencers do at Michael Rubin's house?
Nah, bro, I'm gonna be 100. He do got friends, bro. He got friends. It's weird niggas it's niggas on his same level that's weird as hell like him. They're his friends for sure. We just don't know them, or we just don't know. They friends, bro. He got friends in the industry, bro. Or I don't know. This shit is weird.
Probably whatever he asked them to do, whether it was a freak off or if he just made them all bunny hopping in line. I do know that something in his eyes scares me very deeply, and that's for what they did at Diddy's house. Things are still alleged at this point, but I don't think it's far-fetched to say that rich people have parties where people get intimate. Broke people do that. Have you ever been to college? So when you add the atmosphere that a party creates and mix it full of people that have enough money and influence to rarely hear the word no, it can definitely get strange. I've met rich people that are very reserved and you never know what they do behind closed doors. And I met a rich guy in the elevator in Las Vegas that said he was on his way to an orgy. So do with that information what you will.
Man, that shit is weird as hell. I need y'all folks to... Them rappers need to stop having them freak offs and them parties, man. That shit.